Good evening and welcome to Between the Lanes, episode number 149. I'm Ron.
I'm Shane.
And we're going to talk about slot cars. So, yep, we've been kind of missing in action the last couple of weeks because there really hasn't been a whole lot going on, just some races and, I don't know, nothing really big. So, again, welcome to Between the Lanes, episode number 149. You can find us on YouTube, Slot Racers, the channel, 149 episodes, along with some special episodes and some how-to videos. Facebook, Between the Lanes is the page. And race results for the last couple weekends. The Gator Retro Racing region, was at Fast Eddie's Raceway 2 weeks ago. Stock car class was won by Jeff Bonanno. Fast Eddie himself was second, and Marcus Ramos was third. And then they ran, there we go, Can-Am. And Jeff Bonanno was the winner again, Brian Ambrose second, and Marcus Ramos was third again. And then Formula One closed out the day with Jeff Bonanno winning again, point off the sweep. His father, Don Bonanno, was second, and Fast Eddie Hoffman finished in third. Then the Thaser Pro Slot Hard Body Series was at Thaser Raceway, South Bend, Indiana, the site of another sweep. Hobby Stock was won by Dave Garino, Phil Brown second, Bill Ridley was third. And then they ran the Super Stock class with Dave Garino winning again, Andy Fisher second, and Bill Ridley in third. And then Pony Stock was Dave Garino pulling off the sweep, Rick Abbott was second, and Bill Ridley was third for the third podium in a row. So good job to both Dave and Bill. They were both consistent.
Right.
The Nats, there was a Nats warm-up race, USRA Wing Car Nats warm-up race at Chicagoland Raceway. Group F was won by Michael Iga. Pat was second, Bernie Schatz was third, and I think it was Larry Kelly in fourth. And then in one motor box, Michael Iga won again, point off the sweep. Gary Gasport was second, Bernie Schatz in third. Jim was fourth, and Pat was fifth. And in the no pitchers category, last weekend was the Retro Palooza race at Fort Jeff Raceway. It was very limited in the fact that to travel to the state of New York from 31 other states, you had to self-quarantine upon arrival for 2 weeks. Don't know how they police all that stuff. But anyway, that kept a lot of racers that would normally go away. So, it's still a good turnout. They had like 24, 25, I think, in each class. And but still, normally it should have probably been in the 40s, maybe close pushing 50s. But anyway, Can-Am Plus was won by Matt Bruce. Dom Luongo was second. Jimmy Williams was third. In the stock car class, Keith Libby was the winner. Chubby second. Jimmy Williams third again. GT Coupe FK, Jordan Temple got his first premier event win. Second was Sean McCabe. Third was Rich Thyssen. In the GT Coupe Pro class, Chubby was the winner. Doug Bauer second. Keith Libby third. Can-Am, Chubby was the winner there with Matt Bruce second. Keith Libby third. And then in F1, Chubby was the winner again, winning 3 out of 4. Keith Libby second, and Edsel was third. And I'm pretty sure that Chubby was, crowned the Don this year.
Yes.
With, three wins and a second. That no one else had that kind of record. So congrats to Chubby on becoming the Retropalooza Don. He will remain as the Don until next year's gathering. So that's all I got for race results. So Sunday. God, he missed his cue. Anyway,
sorry.
That's all right. So this weekend, August 8th, I have on the calendar, they're having a three flexi class race at the Viper Pit down in Georgia. The weekend of the 15th, we got Mid-South at Turn and Burn, AWRA race in Greenville, Tennessee, and also scheduled at Downriver, Michigan. The weekend of the 22nd, we got the SCRRA Western States Retro Race. AWRA is at Upstate Speedway in South Carolina. And then on the weekend of the 29th, the Gator Retro Racing Region is at the Raceway Biz, Melbourne, Florida. And the F2000 Wing Car Nats is at Chicagoland Raceway in Illinois. So that's what's coming up for the rest of the month. And that's all I kind of have in that regard as far as races. So the racing season is starting to take off. Definitely a lot of races scheduled starting in September, going forward to the rest of the season year. But now we're starting to have virus problems in certain areas of the country. So from what I'm seeing on Facebook, I haven't seen anything canceled yet, but I have seen where certain events are mandatory masks now, because I think most of the states are going to mandatory masks in public places. I know, like for in Indiana, a week ago, this last Monday, we have to wear a mandatory mask for the first time in all public places. But everything else is still open, kind of as it had been. I guess the big news for Indiana was the Indy 500 now will be run without spectators. So, but in Michigan they've got different rules, and New York has different rules, and Tennessee, where we're going to have the FNRS Nats in October, that county the raceway's in, it's optional masks at this time.
Right.
Doesn't mean.
Well, I mean, that's just like even here,
Right.
We went to a restaurant yesterday, and I always thought here you had to wear a mask when going into a restaurant. I just thought it was known.
Mm-hmm.
So I put my mask on and walked in. It's like, all right, once you're seated and you have a drink or have something to eat, you're allowed to take your mask off. But when you leave, you're supposed to put your mask back on, which doesn't make sense. It's just the rules. I didn't write them.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, I walked in and it's like, all right, well, I'm in, getting ready to be seated, took the mask off. And when I got ready to leave, it wasn't like they said, oh, don't forget to put your, and I just walked out,
Right. Yeah, half the time I go somewhere, I forget to grab the mask in the car. I get about halfway to the door, and it's like, got to go get the mask.
Right. And then some places have it like labeled on the door,
Yeah, you have to have a mask to enter.
Yep. And see, like this place didn't, so I was just like, oh, I got it, just to be on the safe side.
Right. Yeah, because I don't know, most of the food places here, you have to have it when you enter.
Right.
But people still, I mean, it's kind of fun. Like you said, you got it. You walk in with it, but then you sit down 2 seconds later and you can take it off. I mean,
right. Get your drink and
yeah. So anyway, if you're going to a race anytime soon, you might want to find out what's mandated and what's not. Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably some raceway owners that, even though masks aren't mandated maybe in their state, they still want everybody to wear masks.
I've seen something with the last 2 days about Mach 1. I believe they went to you have to have a mask.
Yeah, I think that's probably a Virginia thing.
Right.
It's so hard to keep up with what's going on everywhere anymore.
Right. I mean, I'm lucky because I don't really travel but to 2 states.
Right.
Or 1 state. And I go to North Carolina to race, and then one time I went to Tennessee,
Right. And I think last week, like Michigan now has a deal that you can't have more than a gathering of 10 people inside a building.
Right.
Which again, 100 people could be at Walmart getting essential, quote unquote, essential goods.
Right.
But then you can't go to the racetrack with more than 10 people. So,
right.
Yeah, it's still crazy. California's crazy too. I mean, so it is what it is. And just telling everybody as the racing season starts up, you need to probably pay attention to what the rules are where you're going as far as mask or no masks. And social distancing while you're racing. So that's what I know on that front. So the FNRS Nats, October 3rd, 4th, Pit Pass Raceway, Newport, Tennessee. Shane's been there. I've been there. Ralph was there last weekend, and yeah, the track is really good, like you said, really smooth. It's going to be a great race.
Well, and it's going to be a great time of the year too.
Sure.
It won't be too cold. It won't be too hot.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
We'll be coming up through the mountains. Y'all come through the mountains coming y'all's way?
Oh, well, yeah, we go. Yeah, I mean, I think we go up, what is it, Mount Eagle or whatever on 75 before we descend down into Knoxville, I think. And yeah, it'll be a scenic view probably.
I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure.
You will have a more scenic view than we will, being where you're coming from. But like I think I've said before. I mean, I've been. I remember the first time I drove through the Smokies, you know, east of Knoxville, going to either North or South Carolina. I went through there I think I went through there like in the summertime, and it's just all green, you know. And then I thought it'd be really cool to come through here in the fall sometime. And then at some point I went through there in the fall, you know, and it was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. And then it'd be kind of cool to go through in the wintertime. And at some point I went through there in the wintertime, you know. It was like, and then it's like,
all kind of played out.
Oh, now I got to see the spring, you know, with the buds and stuff on the trees, you know, before they go full green. And so I've been through there in all 4 seasons, and it's always a very scenic. It's not fun to drive. It's not fun to be driving going through there because you can't look at a lot of things because the road's so curvy and everything in parts, and you really got to be paying attention to the road. And it's kind of narrow going through there at spots, and so you have to pay attention. So if you're a passenger, it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So
I've been both.
Well, I think when I came, okay, so when we was down at FNRS Nats, no, not FNRS, FNRS race, the Slot Car Track Concord a year ago last January, you know, when I left Bobby's house, I took 40.
Right.
And went over to through the Smokies into Knoxville and then up 75. And that's the first time I'd ever went through the mountains on 40 east of whatever I took south to go into southward North Carolina. So that was a new kind of cool drive. But
different scenery.
Yeah. And if you are planning on going to FNR Nats, I would strongly suggest that you make hotel reservations as soon as possible, because a lot of people go down there just to look at leaves and trees and the changing of the colors, as they say. So
that's just like whenever I booked for the week we went up there to just go hang out and kind of test.
Right.
You know, we got there that night and just chatting with the attendant there. I was like, "Are y'all booked?" She was like, "Yeah, we're full."
Right.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So yeah, again, if you're planning on going to the race, you need to book a hotel as soon as possible. Remember, you can always cancel.
Right. Yeah.
But don't wait till the last minute trying to get a hotel. You may not get one.
Right.
And I guess I know a few people are planning on going down for maybe like 4 or 5 days, and they're gonna take family and they're gonna rent a.
Because it's just what is it? They say a hop, skip, and a jump away, and you're
like
there
40 minutes in Gatlinburg. So, a lot of people are doing the what's it called? Well, what's it called when you rent a house on the
Uber?
No, not Uber.
No, sorry,
Airbnb. So a lot of people are talking about doing Airbnbs and getting cabins or houses and staying down a few extra days and checking things out. So, but there's plenty of hotels there in Newport. So,
yeah, well, we stayed at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, and I think walking out, look to the right, there was a hotel. We were in a hotel. I think there was a hotel across the street. So there's plenty of hotels. It just depends on what your budget is and what your liking is.
Right. Yeah.
Plenty of places to eat. There's a Walmart. We went to the Walmart.
Right. So that should be a pretty good event. And see what happens between now and then.
Right.
But again, the track is really smooth. The facility's really clean. Chad Hutchins and his wife were great hosts. Yeah, everything was really good. So.
Yeah. And I went, everything was fine.
And if you go down there prior to the race, don't worry about pit tables. He's going to be putting in another 20 folding tables.
I remember. Yeah, we talked about that, I think, after the show.
Right. So there'll be.
I think when you went down there, I think you talked to him some about it. The place is big enough to have plenty of tables. I guess he just likes the floor space.
Right.
Which, I mean, no sense in having 70 tables out if you're getting a local crowd of 20,
Right. Well, I mean, he's going to put tables all along the drag strip because there will be no drag race in that weekend. So.
Right.
He'll put tables, butt them up against the drag strip, and I don't know. He's probably put 40 feet of tables over there. So,
right.
And then he talked about putting tables in the back room where you go out of the main part of the building back where the restrooms are.
Right.
And there's another room off to the side of that he can put tables in. So, I'm kind of, the interest generated seems to be around 40 to 50 guys, and the place can accommodate that. So there you have it. You might want to bring an extension cord. He says
I have a travel one.
He says he has
sure
power. He says
too.
he has power strips and everything, but just in case you might have to run power somewhere.
Right.
And then he could put a couple tables over by the bank, up by the front window.
Right.
So yeah,
it'd be like Flexipalooza in Michigan when we were all put it over there in the corner by the front windows.
Right. And the tire for the event, and it'll be used on both tracks, will be the Mid-America part number 41F. It's an untreated natural tire on a 500 diameter magnesium hub. They work well. The rubber works good on both tracks. LMP and GTP will both use the Mid-America Phoenix motor as the handout motor. And then in the 4-inch and 4.5-inch stock car classes that are run on the oval, it'll be the Mid-America Eagle motor will be the handout motor. 11-tooth pinions on the oval, 13-tooth pinions on the king track. And some people have like, when are you handing the bodies out? It's not a handout body race.
Right.
It's a spec body race. And in LMP, it's the Ralph Thorne Orca. GTP is the out of sight B3. 4-inch stock car on the oval is the RTR Titan COT COT body. And 4.5 is the out of sight Taurus 072 SS, the original one without the extended spoiler or COT spoiler. So you can run any thickness. That's up to you. But yes, you have to have your own bodies. We're not handing any bodies out. So
own bodies.
So everybody has,
doing handout pinions, or you
bring your own pinions, because some guys want to run straight pinions, some guys want to run angled pinions, and it's just one less thing to procure for the race. So
basically, your entry fee includes
pair of tires, pair of motor, or pair of motors, pair of tires, one motor, and your entry fee.
Right.
So it's $40 a class, and all the motors will be engraved as they're handed out. Tires will be marked, and trying to think what else.
There'll be extras, so you could buy up to one extra pair of tires per class and one extra motor per class.
I don't think we actually set on that, but that's probably what it's going to be, because we're trying to make it as affordable as possible. So, and and I know, and from around the track, I mean, it's hard to believe that you can run a GTP race on the King track and have your tires, like your chassis, right there at tech. Run the race and your car still techs. Like the King track does not wear out tires.
Yeah, I've always told myself, if I do that with a car and I don't show uneven wear on the car,
right?
You know what I mean, and it still techs, but that car was set up pretty good,
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, but then again,
some tires
the same car on a different track.
One.
Yeah, you take the same car on a different track and it'll wear one tire smaller than the other. So
right.
Uh, I don't know how you can. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that track just doesn't wear the tires out, and I mean, we're running too many
The surface
heats.
on it isn't really an abrasive surface.
No, it's really
And
smooth.
there's
Yeah.
enough banking, you know what I mean, to
Right.
where, you know, the car's not scrubbing really, you know.
Right.
So,
And the track.
I mean, the only place on that track I could think that would wear tires would be the tire on the outside of the donut.
Right.
You know, when you're punched through the donut.
And the track will be cleaned and sprayed on Thursday night after he closes. And then when we go in Friday morning, it will be, you know, a nice covering of glue. The naphtha will be evaporated, and basically we'll run the track in all day. And the track should be very, very good.
What was the track voltage?
13.5.
Any suggestions on recess? Because you know we're going to get these questions on Facebook.
Yeah. You know, I didn't add, you know, I went down there. I don't think I had any spacers in my cars on the King track, and I didn't add any. So it is recessed a little bit, but
Right.
I don't know how deep it is. I didn't measure it because I just put
See, whenever I went, I ran 10,000s.
Okay.
But me and you ran two different chassis, so.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, because I ran Venger with the aluminum, lightweight aluminum pan, nickel plated, in GTP, and then I ran a Striker center section with. Well, I had two cars. I don't remember. I don't remember which one, but anyway, they were both very good. I raced one. Terry raced the other one. One wasn't better, but they were both Strikers, and they both had the aluminum nickel plated pans. One was a lightweight pan, and the other one was the original heavier aluminum pan. And both cars were
nickel plated.
Yeah, both cars ran the same, handled the same. Yeah. So
that's like me, because you know some people ask, "Well, is the King a Mazzetti friendly track?" It's like, yeah, I didn't have a problem with any of my Mazzettis.
Right, and I didn't. You know what? I didn't try an Avenger for stock car class. Again, the stock car thing was a last minute deal, and
right.
I kind of followed your lead and put Strikers together, or had Strikers together, and just threw some Hawk 7 motors in them, and said, well, I wasn't going to put a lot of time in. If they worked, and fine. If they needed a little bit of work, fine. But if they was going to need a whole lot of work, then, we're just not going to race stock car day, because went down to really just run GTP. So it just worked out that both those cars worked for NAS stock car, and I had three out of 5 GTPs that went around really good. The other two probably would have if I would have worked on them, but it was kind of like, nope, we just need 2 cars for today. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to go in there and, it's not just there, it's anywhere. If you go on race morning and you're only going to have a couple hours to get ready, and you've never been on the track, you've never been to the track, and you got to get like 4 cars dialed in, that can be a lot of work. And, then if, like I told Terry when we were packing up, I said that's something you rarely ever see, is I didn't grind 1 pair of tires the entire time I was here.
Right.
But I ground different stuff prior, which I normally don't grind. If I don't grind any of mini tires before I go, because I'm always afraid they might shrink a little bit, and then I wouldn't be able to run them because the car's too low. But I cut them in like the day before, and I cut some of the stuff, I guess, a week before. But anyway, nothing really shrank up. So all these tires, it was ready to go, and I didn't really test. I mean, tried Soft Wonder, just didn't work. No forward bite, and then kind of played with the hub size. Ran small hubs on the stock car on the King, and the big hubs on the GTP. Tried small hubs on the GTP, but it was a little boggy.
Right.
And then when we tested over on the oval for a little bit, we tried both big and small hubs, and big hubs just seemed to be better. So it's kind of like, that's good. We can use the same tire, both tracks, and all 4 classes. So it's like, yeah. So, yep.
be here before you know it, 'cause that race is in October.
Race is October 3rd and 4th, yeah.
Saturday and a Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. It's less than 2 months away. GTP and 4-inch stock car on Saturday. LMP and 4.5-inch stock car on Sunday. And the King classes will run first both days, and the Oval classes will run as the second class. And kind of works out good because while you, after you qualify your GTP car, say on Saturday morning, and you're waiting for your race, and
right.
you
You're
go
in the
over,
A main, and there's 3 mains or 4 mains or
yeah,
5 mains.
yeah, you'll
got
marshal
time
the
to
first
kinda
main, and
take-
then you'll have a couple mains. You go over and play on the Oval. Get your car ready for that.
Right.
So
I always like going to a place where there was more than one track that you raced on because it's not overcrowded,
right,
you know?
right.
So,
But it'll be busy on Friday, and
right.
there will.
I've heard of some people even coming in on Thursday.
Well, I'm sure there will be some people there on Thursday. I believe that the track's going to open at 8 a.m. Friday. We haven't totally confirmed that yet, but that's kind of the plan. And if not, he'll probably open at 10. And he'll be open
Right.
till 10 or 11 Friday night. And go eat, go to the hotel, or go wherever, and then be back at the track at 8 a.m. And probably be about an hour of practice, and then we'll open tech at. That might be maybe that's all right. Maybe I think tech might be open at 10 for GTP. So it's kind of the same schedule both days. And as usual, we'll do everything we can to get the races run in the most expedient, quick manner, so we can get out early both nights, especially Sunday. And
Right.
should be a good turnout. It should be a good race. And I don't know if I'm. Yeah, so, okay, I don't think I did it. So the Nazra Nats, that was in my notes to talk about. The Nazra Wing Car Nats, which was scheduled for September. About a week ago, they announced that it's been moved to November 8th through the 15th. That's at Slot Car Raceway, LLC, PA Watson's the owner, Houston, Texas. The USRA Wing Car Nats are still scheduled for September 23rd through the 28th at Chicagoland Raceway. Mike Swiss is the host. And, of course, if you don't know, now you will know, the Israel Worlds has been canceled for 2020. And I think we've already mentioned that on past shows.
Speaking of which, I believe it was sometime this week or maybe last week they ran the first laps on the 2021
Last
Israel Worlds
Saturday
track.
they posted, yes, at Speed Zone.
Yeah.
They ran the first laps on the 2021 Worlds track.
Yep.
So, and hopefully that'll happen,
Right.
It's over a year away, but.
You never know the way things go.
Right.
Or are going.
Right.
So.
Well, the big thing is you don't know what we're going to do internationally, if
right.
borders will be open or closed. So I would hope by then this is conquered or whatever, but.
Right, or have some kind of hand or grasp on it or whatnot, or
sure.
something.
So hopefully.
Yep.
So I'm working on a couple of special history things. I've been trying to get them done the last week or two, and can't devote full time to it, but it'll be it's either going to be a 2 or 3 part story on the history of bodies. I don't know if bodies is the right word. Body companies, and it should be quite interesting. And we'll talk about some myths and talk about some actual facts other than what's out there. And been talked to a few other people, and I've come up with some other things to talk about too down the road. So it's just digging things out, taking pictures, and all that stuff. And
right.
Believe it or not, that takes
you
time.
Talked about pre-show.
Yeah.
Next week's show will probably be new items, new goodies.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about a bunch of new stuff here in the next week or two.
New products coming out.
Yeah, because it looks like there's maybe 3 or 4 new guide flags coming out soon. And I don't know what else.
Right.
But We shall see.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week and the week after and the week after. And
there'll be breaks in between, depending on what's going on.
yeah, I think next week or the week after is like the 3rd anniversary of the first episode of Between the Lanes. So I know we started in August 3 years ago. So
May have to talk to Ralph and see if you can get him on.
maybe we can get Ralph back.
Yeah, one show.
Maybe we can
me and Ralph will be racing and.
Yeah, you guys will be this weekend. No, next weekend. Next weekend.
No, next week. Yeah, it was originally scheduled for this weekend,
Right.
but they had vacation plans, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
should be a good time.
That should be a good race.
Looking forward to time off and just go hang out with my friends and play with toy cars.
Right. Yep. Should be a good time. Well, that's all I got for this week.
Yeah. So there's not really much going on around here.
Right. Yeah, you're all prepped and ready, aren't you?
Yeah, I was actually kind of proud of myself. It's been a long time since I've been this ready for a race, which could be good or bad, but hey, I'm going to have fun. It's not the end of the world. So,
Right.
yeah, that we're aware of.
Yep.
But if it is, I'll at least know my stuff was ready to go racing.
There you go.
So.
That stupid thing. All right. Well, until next week, episode number 150. Everybody have a safe weekend. Huh?
We have to do our word of the show.
Yes, I'm glad you thought about that because I totally forgot about it. So, what is your pick?
Let's see. Of course, I don't have one.
I think we should go with Chubby the Don.
We did that one before?
Not Chubby the Don, I don't think.
No, because last year, wasn't it Keith Libby?
I believe so.
Or was it James, I think James Williamson or James Williams?
It's been a year ago. I don't remember.
Yeah. Everything, yeah. So, yeah. Chubby the Don.
Chubby the Don is the word of the show. So, again, until next week, everyone have a good weekend. If you're going racing, good luck. Be safe. And we will see you next week, episode number 150. We're out.
See ya.